Right now, as you read this, millions of men are dying inside in relationships that are slowly destroying them, silently, methodically. And the worst part? They think the problem is them. You are one of them. Maybe you're reading this hidden in the bathroom, the only place where you still have privacy. Maybe it's the middle of the night and she's sleeping next to you, but you're wide awake, suffocating under the weight of a life you no longer recognize as your own. Maybe you got here after yet another argument where, somehow incomprehensibly, you ended up apologizing for something. You don't even know what it was. Society tells you that mature men seek commitment, build families, invest everything in one woman. But the brutal truth that no one has the courage to speak is that giving up on serious relationships today isn't cowardice. It's pure intelligence. It's self-defense. It's the only rational response to a game completely rigged against you. This goes against everything your mother taught you, everything the church preached, everything your married friends pretend is true while dying inside. And that's exactly why you need to hear every word I'm about to say. Charles was 35, a successful engineer, owned his house, drove a new car. 7 years of marriage where he was everything: provider, psychologist, father, friend, lover. I remember the day I met Charles. It was at a company happy hour, one of those you go to out of social obligation. He was in the corner of the bar, swirling a glass of whiskey he barely touched, his gaze lost on a TV playing some random game. "Are you okay?" I asked. He laughed, that empty laugh of someone who has already given up pretending. "Define okay," he replied. I sat next to him. 2 hours. Later, I knew his complete story, how it started with romantic dinners he planned days in advance, researching restaurants, making reservations, buying flowers, how she always found something to complain about. The food was cold, the restaurant was too noisy, the flowers weren't her favorite. How he kept adjusting, trying, improving, how it was never enough. His wife, she didn't work. "I'm finding myself," she'd say. 3 years of that. Then it turned into, "I'm thinking about taking a course." 2 more years. Then it's not the right time. She didn't cook. "Food is your responsibility. You earn money for it." She didn't clean. "Hiring someone is more efficient." She criticized his every move. Every single move. "You know, the moment I knew I was screwed," Charles told me, the whiskey finally going down. "It was when I came home after closing the biggest contract of my career. 3 months of negotiation, absurd pressure, I got it. A commission that would pay for our entire year's vacation. I walked in smiling, wanting to celebrate. You know what she said? 'You forgot to stop by the grocery store. As always, I can't count on you for anything.'" Charles woke up at 5:30. Game for work. He drank coffee alone in the dark kitchen, trying not to make noise. If I woke her up, the whole day would be hell. He drove an hour to the office, thinking of excuses to stay late. He'd get home at 8 p.m. and still hear that he wasn't giving enough attention, that he wasn't earning enough, that the neighbor bought a better car. The worst wasn't the complaints, Charles continued, ordering another whiskey. The worst was the sex, or the lack of it. Once a month, if I was lucky. And when it happened, it was mechanical. She'd lie there, staring at the ceiling, waiting for it to end. I tried to talk about it. "You only think about sex," she'd say. "I'm not an object." But when her personal trainer started, suddenly she started shaving again. New lingerie appeared. Different perfume. For me? No. For me, it was still the old pajamas and a scowl. 7 years of that. 7 years of being drained. 7 years of dying. Until the day he found her messages with the personal trainer. The same affectionate messages he never received. "Can't wait to see you. You make me feel alive. With you, it's different." The divorce cost him half of everything he had built. Half. But you know what Charles told me? "It was cheap. I bought my life back. It's over." You're probably thinking, but that's an extreme case. No, that's the pattern. You know it. Deep down, you know exactly that. How many times have you come home and felt the heavy atmosphere before even opening the door? How many times have you stayed in the car, in the parking lot, taking a deep breath, psychologically preparing yourself to enter your own home? How many times have you invented overtime, a meeting, anything to postpone the moment of returning to the battlefield? The relationship market has become a war zone, and you're fighting unarmed. While you were taught to be a gentleman, provider, protector, the other side has completely changed the rules. And no one warned you, no one had the courage to tell you that the game you're playing no longer exists. I'm going to show you exactly how this massacre happens, how you are systematically destroyed, how each tactic is executed with surgical precision, and more importantly, why giving up is not defeat, it's victory. The first weapon in her arsenal is the inverted risk-reward analysis. Let me be more specific about how this works in practice. You wake up on Sunday thinking of making a special breakfast. 40 minutes preparing pancakes, eggs just the way she likes them, fresh orange juice, table set. You're proud of the effort. She comes down, looks at the table, and the first thing she says, "Pancakes are fattening. You know I'm trying to lose weight." Not a thank you, not an acknowledgement of the effort. Immediate analysis of what's wrong. Next weekend, you try something different. Fruits, yogurt, granola. Is that all? It doesn't look like you put much effort in. You can't win because the game isn't about what you do. It's about keeping you constantly trying, constantly insufficient, constantly owing. You invest everything: time, money, emotion, energy. Her. She constantly evaluates if you're still worth it. You pay for dinner. She evaluates if you chose the right restaurant. Here again, you have no creativity. You choose a new place. You don't even know me. You know I don't like this kind of food. You plan the weekend. She judges if it was creative enough. A surprise trip. You didn't consult me. I had other plans. A quiet weekend at home that you never want to do anything. You work 12 hours a day to provide comfort. She complains you don't give attention. You take a day off to be with her. She says you're suffocating her. It's a permanent court where you are always the defendant. Always. And the verdict is already decided before the trial begins. Mark experienced this intensely. A financial analyst, 38, he told me his story during a flight from New York to Los Angeles. "I kept a mental spreadsheet," he said, laughing humorlessly. "Trying to calculate what worked, what didn't. Flowers on Monday, no, she'd say it was cliché. Flowers on Thursday. Too random seemed like guilt. Good morning text? Clingy. Not sending a text? Distant. It was exhausting. You're thinking, but relationships are about give and take. Lie. You've been programmed to believe that while the other side operates with pure market logic, maximum value extraction with minimum investment. Second move on the battlefield. Reverse loss cutting. When a stock falls, smart investors sell, they cut their losses, they get out. In modern relationships, you're trained to do the opposite. The worse it gets, the more you invest. Think about it for a moment. In any other area of your life, would you tolerate this return on investment? If an employee produced 10% and complained 90% of the time, how long would they last? If an investment only yielded losses month after month, would you keep putting money in? If a car constantly needed repairs, would you happily keep paying the installments? But in a relationship, you not only continue, you increase the investment. She treats you badly. You buy flowers. Maybe she's stressed. She ignores you. You plan a trip. We need to reconnect. She emotionally cheats on you by giving attention to other men. You double your efforts. I need to be a better man. It's a spiral of self-destruction funded by yourself. Peter lived this. 2 years with a woman who tested his every limit. It started small, Peter explained to me when we met at a gym at 6 a.m., the only time he had peace. Jealousy of time with my friends. Do you prefer them to me? So I cut back on going out. Then it was jealousy of female co-workers. Why did she text you at 7 p.m.? I started avoiding projects with women on the team. Then it was my time at the gym. Who are you working out for? I almost stopped training. Jealousy as a weapon. Why did you like her photo? A photo of a cousin he didn't even remember seeing. 3 hours of argument. He showing his Instagram history. She crying, saying he didn't love her enough. He apologizing. Why? He didn't even know, but he apologized. Drama as ammunition. John told me he saw you having lunch with a woman. It was his boss, a work meeting with 3 other people at the table. But that didn't matter. What mattered was the show. The tears, the accusations, the threats to break up. Until he was on his knees, begging her to believe him. Control as a strategy. Shared phone password. Real-time location. If you have nothing to hide, but her phone? You don't trust me? That's abusive. Her outings with friends. I need my space. The messages she received in the middle of the night. It's my mom. She has insomnia. Peter gave in, always gave in, to avoid conflict, to keep her happy. The worst part is, I started to believe that I was the problem, he told me, increasing the speed on the treadmill as if he could outrun the memories, that I was jealous for wanting to know where she was, that I was controlling for asking who she was going out with. She inverted everything, and I believed it. His work performance plummeted. How to focus on spreadsheets when you're checking your phone every 5 minutes to see if you replied fast enough. How to present projects when you slept 2 hours because you were talking and her screaming you apologizing until 4 a.m. Anxiety skyrocketed, identity destroyed. When it finally ended, she already had someone else. In 2 weeks, 2 years of his investment, 2 weeks for her to replace him. The guy was already on standby, Peter found out later. Her friends knew, everyone knew, except me. Third tactic, zero diversification. This one is particularly cruel because it uses your own honor against you. They keep options, always. It's a diversified portfolio of male attention, carefully managed for maximum emotional return and minimum risk. The ex who still texts. He's just a friend now, you need to be more mature about it. But the messages are always late at night, always when you've argued, always with that tone of, I'm here if you need me. She doesn't cut him off because he's her safety net. If you fail, he's there. The friend who's waiting for a chance, the one who always comments on her photos, who always offers rides, who is always available to talk. You're imagining things, he respects me. But when you break up, guess who will be there to comfort her? The co-worker who flirts. It's just his way. It doesn't mean anything. But she never sets boundaries, never cuts him off because attention feeds the ego, and if you complain, you're insecure, you need to work on that. The Tinder match she forgot to delete. I don't even use the app anymore, but the notifications keep coming. It's an app bug. You know it's not. She knows you know. But gaslighting is part of the game. You deleted everything. Erased female contacts. To avoid problems, cut off female friends. She doesn't feel comfortable. Reduced outings with friends. I need to prioritize the relationship. Focused on her, put all your eggs in a leaky basket. When the relationship explodes, and it will explode, she has somewhere to go. You have emptiness. Ryan learned this the hard way. I had a life before her, he told me during a barbecue, looking at the beer bottle as if the answers were there. A band with my friends. Soccer every Thursday. An investment group that met monthly. In 6 months it all disappeared. The band takes you away from me. Soccer is an excuse to drink. Those friends of yours are a bad influence, and I cut them off, one by one. When she broke up with me by text on a random Tuesday, I looked at my phone and had no one to call. Do you think this is a coincidence? That it just happens? No, it is systemic. Fourth weapon, weaponized male loss aversion. Men hate to lose. They hate waste. They hate to admit failure. It's biological, evolutionary. We were programmed to persist, to conquer, to not give up. And they know this, they use it. After everything we've been through together. That phrase, that damn phrase that has already made you stay 6 more months in a dead relationship. But what have you been through together exactly? She spent it receiving, you spent it providing. She spent it criticizing, you spent it adjusting. She spent it testing, you spent it proving. Are you going to throw away X years? Sunk cost fallacy. The time you've already lost doesn't come back if you lose more time. But your male mind doesn't process it that way. You think about the investment, the effort, what your friends will think, what your family will say. They seemed so good together. Seemed. The key word is seemed. Think of everything we've built. Built. Let's take an honest inventory. The house, you paid for it. The decor, she chose it with your card. The trips, you planned and paid for them. The memories, mostly of arguments, criticisms, and sleepless nights. You built, she enjoyed, but your male mind cannot accept the loss of the investment. So you continue. 1 more month, 1 more year, 1 more decade. Throwing good money after bad. Fred explained this to me with a perfect analogy. He's a professional trader. If I managed my investments the way I managed my marriage, I'd be bankrupt in 3 months. Imagine holding a stock that only drops, hoping it will magically reverse just because you've already lost a lot. On it. That's exactly what we do with relationships. The difference is that with a bad stock you lose money, with a bad relationship you lose life. And now comes the part that will truly destroy you. Fifth blow, destruction of personal market value. This is psychological warfare in its purest state. Systematically, day after day, your value is eroded. Not obviously, not with direct attacks, with surgical precision. You've gained weight, said casually as you get dressed. Not a concern for your health, an attack on your appearance. You spend the whole day thinking about it, looking in the bathroom mirror at work, comparing yourself to other men. The seed of insecurity has been planted. That outfit doesn't look good on you. The shirt you loved, that made you feel confident. Now it's at the back of the closet. You don't even know why, but you don't wear it anymore. Your personal style slowly replaced by what she approves. Your friend earns more. Constant comparison. You are never measured by your progress, always by what others have. Her cousin who became a manager, the friend's husband who bought a bigger apartment, the ex who appeared on Instagram in Paris. You are always in deficit. You're going bald. Every time you run your hand through your hair now you think about it. You research treatments, consider implants, wear a hat. Your confidence destroyed. Your self-image deformed. Small cuts, thousands of them. You snore. You sweat too much. You're terrible at fixing things. You can't cook. You're bad in bed. Until you believe she's the best you can get. That you should be grateful. That you're lucky she's still with you. Luke told me how this worked for him. I entered the relationship thinking I was a decent guy. Good shape. Good job, good humor. 3 years later, I thought I was complete trash, fat, a failure, boring. The interesting thing? Objectively, nothing had changed. Same weight, promotion at work, same friends finding me funny. But in my head, I was nothing. And she was the saint for being with me. Lie, manipulation, psychological warfare. Strong men recognize their own worth. Weak men beg for validation. Smart men cut their losses. Desperate men double down. Wise men protect their resources. Naive men bleed to death. Sixth strategy, unilateral expectation adjustment. This is the standard double blow. The rules of the game. Constantly change, but only for one side. She expects gifts, you give gifts. Mother's Day, birthday, Valentine's Day, Christmas, month-versary. Yes, that exists now. The day you met, the day of your first kiss. The list grows. You forget an invented date. You don't value me. She forgets your birthday. You know I'm terrible with dates, don't be childish. She expects attention, you give attention. Texts during work, calls at lunch, FaceTime when you're with friends. I just want to hear your voice. But when you call, I'm busy, you're too needy. When you text, I'm with the girls, we'll talk later. When you want attention, not everything revolves around you. She expects security, you provide security. House in a good neighborhood, car in the garage, health insurance, additional credit card, financial stability. But you expect sex? I'm not obligated. You only think about that. Sex isn't everything in life. If you really loved me, you'd respect my moment. You expect affection? You're too needy. I need space. Not everyone is mushy like you. You expect loyalty. You're controlling. It's abusive. You need therapy for that insecurity. Her expectations are rights. Yours are abuses. This is not love. I repeat, this is not love. One more time for those who still resist. This is not love. Love is partnership. It's reciprocity. It's mutual building. It's shared desire. It's bilateral respect. It's genuine admiration. It's natural attraction. It's spontaneous care. What do you have? It's emotional parasitism with relationship marketing. Seventh and most deadly, inverted value signaling. This is the final inversion that completely breaks your moral and behavioral compass. Every action of yours that demonstrates value is reinterpreted as weakness. You pay the bills. You're a pushover. He's so manipulable, I pay half the rent, and he pays for everything else. Real conversation Andrew overheard his ex-fiancée having with her friends on the phone, thinking he was asleep. You're romantic. You're cheesy. He brought flowers again. So predictable. But the bad boy who disappears for days and comes back without explanation. He's so mysterious, I never know what he's thinking. You're faithful. You have no options. Of course he doesn't cheat on me. Who else would want him? Meanwhile, the guy who clearly has 3 parallel affairs, he chose me out of all of them. You work hard, you're a workaholic. He's never really present. But the slacker who lives off freelance gigs and spends the day playing games. He has his priorities straight. He's not a slave to the system. You take care of your family? You're boring. He's so proper, so family-oriented. Meanwhile, the guy who fights with everyone and has a problematic history? He's intense, he's real. Every virtue of yours becomes a flaw. Every quality becomes a weakness. Every effort becomes a demonstration of inferiority. Meanwhile, the guy who treats her badly, who disappears, who doesn't call, who has 3 parallel affairs, that one is interesting, that one is challenging, that one is worth winning. Over. Rod experienced this in real time. I did everything right, he told me during coffee on a Saturday morning. Everything I learned a man should do. Called every day, picked her up from work, planned dates, introduced her to my family, went to her cousin's wedding, put up with her unbearable mother. You know what she told me when she broke up? You're perfect, but I don't feel the spark anymore. 2 weeks later, she was dating a guy who had just gotten out of jail. Richard learned this the hard way. 2 marriages, 2 fortunes lost, 2 women, who swore eternal love while planning their escape. His first marriage was at 25. Joyce, beautiful, charismatic, full of dreams. We'll build an empire together, she'd say. Richard believed her. He worked 16 hours a day, started 2 companies, one in his name, one in hers, to protect assets. When the divorce came 5 years later, he discovered that the company in her name was the one with all the lucrative contracts. She had planned everything, from the beginning. His second marriage was at 33, Patricia, different from all the others. Mature, independent, with her own career. I don't want your money, I want your love, Richard believed again. 3 years later, pregnant, she stopped working. Temporarily. Temporary became permanent. The child support today? More than an executive's average salary. He sees the child twice a month, when she allows it. Today, Richard dates, casually, transparently, no promises, no heavy investments, no strings attached. First date, I make it clear, he explained to me. I'm not getting married again. I'm not moving in. I'm not supporting anyone. I'm not being a pet dad. I'm not meeting your family. If you want something casual, fun, respectful, great. If not, also great. Next. And you know what happened? He's never been so desired, never had so much respect, never been so happy. Because when you stop investing in rotten stocks, suddenly you become the scarce asset. It's amazing, Richard told me, genuinely laughing for the first time in years. The less I offer, the more they want. The clearer I am about not wanting anything serious, the more they try to convince me otherwise. It's as if the value is in scarcity, not in abundance, in unavailability, not in dedication. You're thinking, but not all of them are like that. You're thinking, mine is different. You're thinking exactly what every destroyed man thought before being destroyed. Let me tell you about Bruno. Bruno was sure his was different. They met at church. She was a virgin, traditional family, conservative values. She's the one to marry, everyone said. They got married. 6 months later, she stopped working. I want to take care of the house. A year later, she stopped cooking. I'm tired. 2 years later, she stopped having sex. I'm not in the mood. 3 years later, Bruno discovered her affair with the pastor, the same pastor who married them, or James. His was a feminist, modern. Relationships are equal partnerships. They split everything, until she lost her job. You can cover it temporarily, right? Temporary turned into a year, 2. When James suggested she look for a job again, she cried, "You don't love me enough to support me." What kind of man lets his wife go without? Feminism disappeared when the bill arrived. Some will rationalize, but what about true love? True love doesn't drain. True love doesn't exploit. True love doesn't destroy. If it's destroying, it's not love, it's emotional parasitism. True love is action, not words, Paul, 52, told me after 3 destructive relationships. And her actions say what? That she loves you or that she loves what you provide? When you're sick, does she take care of you or complain you're being dramatic? When you're vulnerable, does she comfort you or use it against you later? When you're down, does she lift you up or remind you of all your failures? The whole system is rigged against you. The legal system that, in case of divorce, assumes you are in the wrong. that you must pay, that you must lose, that you must provide even after it's at. Over 70% of divorces are initiated by women. Coincidence? No. They know they will win. Alimony, house, children, freedom. You get bills and 2 visits a month. Couples therapy where your needs are toxic but hers are valid. Where you need to evolve but she needs to be accepted as she is. Have you been to couples therapy? The therapist, usually a woman, will spend 50 minutes explaining how you need to be more sensitive, more present, more emotional. And her problems? They are reactions to your behaviors. The media that portrays every man as an emotionally incompetent idiot who needs a woman to be complete. Every commercial, every series, every movie, the man is the buffoon who can't cook, can't take care of the kids, can't dress himself. The woman is the savior who brings meaning to his pathetic life, who romanticizes male sacrifice, who glorifies subservience. Happy wife, happy life. And your happiness? Irrelevant. Social media where she posts beautiful photos of the relationship while destroying you in private. Couple goals. Love of my life. Blessed. The comments. How lucky you are. Where can I find one like him? You two are perfect. Meanwhile, you're in the bathroom, the only place with privacy, Googling signs of an abusive relationship and doubting your own sanity. No one tells you this. No one has the courage to tell you this. The system doesn't want you to know, because conscious men are not controllable. Men who understand the game don't play to lose. Men who recognize manipulation are not manipulable. And more importantly, when men start talking about this among themselves, the house of cards collapses. That's why they call you misogynistic if you question, immature if you resist, problematic if you expose. It's intimidation to keep you silent, confused, doubting yourself. So, what do? You wake up, you act, you choose. First action, brutal audit. Get paper now, right now, not tomorrow, not later, now. List every investment you've made in your last relationship. Be specific, be honest, be brutal. Time. How many hours a week do you dedicate to her versus yourself? How many hobbies have you abandoned? How many personal projects have been postponed? How many professional opportunities have you turned down to avoid problems? Money. Add it all up. Dinners, gifts, trips, clothes she chose, furniture she wanted, subscriptions she uses, additional credit card, borrowed transfers. Put the real value. No emotional discount. Energy. How many arguments per week? How many hours lost in drama? How many sleepless nights? How many times did you have to explain yourself, justify yourself, prove your innocence? Lost opportunities. That promotion that required moving cities. That course that happened on your day. That partnership she thought was too risky. That investment she preferred to spend on something else. On the other side, list what you received. Real, concrete, not promises, not potential. What you actually received. Enthusiastic sex frequently, genuine support in difficulties, admiration expressed in actions, proportional financial contribution, peace of mind, personal growth. The numbers don't lie, the numbers will shock you. Robert did this and showed me the result. Investment, $15,000 in 2 years. Return, she sometimes washed the dishes. The penny dropped like an anvil. Second action, value mapping. Write down what you bring to the table. Don't be modest, be factual. Salary. How much do you earn? How much could you earn if you weren't tied down by the relationship? Stability. Are you reliable? Do you keep promises? Are you consistent? Loyalty. Are you faithful? Not just sexually, emotionally too. Protection. Do you offer physical security? Emotional, financial, provision? House, food, comfort, luxuries? Care. Do you genuinely care? Do you show it in actions? Everything. List everything. Then write down the minimum you should receive in return. Minimum. Not the ideal, the acceptable minimum. Basic respect, regular enthusiastic sex, equivalent financial or domestic contribution, genuine emotional support, peace instead of constant drama. If you're not receiving the minimum, you're in deficit. Companies go bankrupt in deficit. Men do too. Third action, boundary setting. Define 3 non-negotiable limits. Just 3. Behaviors that if they happen once, you leave. No discussion, no second chance, no therapy. Leave. Physical or emotional betrayal. This includes flirting, intimate messages, hidden meetings. Once it's over. Public disrespect, diminishing you in front of others, exposing intimacies, ridiculing you. Once it's over. Financial manipulation, lying about expenses, incurring debt in your name, demanding access to your savings. Once it's over. Choose yours, carve them in stone, and abide by them. Always abide. The first time you give in, you've lost all bargaining power. Will it hurt? Yes. Cutting off a gangrenous limb hurts too, but it's that or die. Fourth action, existential diversification. Your work, your hobbies, your friends, your health, your mission, all of this comes first, always first. A relationship is a complement, not the center. Work, focus on excellence, seek promotions, change jobs if necessary. Your professional growth is non-negotiable. Hobbies, go back to what made you happy. Music, sports, reading, games, anything. Minimum 3 hours a week. Non-negotiable. Friends, reconnect. Those you abandoned understand. Men understand. Schedule something for this week. Not next month. This week. Health, gym, running, martial arts, anything. Your body is your temple. Take care of it. The endorphins will show you what you were missing. Mission. What do you want to leave in the world? What is your purpose beyond serving someone? Find it. Pursue it. Obsessively. When you have a complete life, you don't beg for scraps of attention. When you have purpose, you don't accept being diminished. When you have options, you don't tolerate abuse. Fifth action, surgical cut. If it's been bad for more than 6 months and you've tried to communicate, set boundaries, given chances, cut it. It's not giving up. It's intelligence. It's not weakness. It's strength. It's not failure. It's strategy. How to cut. Be direct. Be firm. Be final. This relationship is not working for me. It's over. It's not negotiable. Don't give elaborate explanations. She will use every word against you. Don't accept, let's talk. You've already talked. Don't accept, we can try one more time. You've already tried. And most importantly, don't go back. Never go back. The goodbye sex isn't worth it. Promises of change are lies. Crying is manipulation. Anger is an attempt at control. Block her everywhere. Delete her number. Change the lock if necessary. Every extra day in a toxic situation is one less day of life. You have one life. One. The clock is ticking. You are aging. Time doesn't come back. William learned this at 41. I calculated, he told me, if I live to 80, I've already spent more than half my life. Half. And the best years, the years with energy, with health, with vigor, I spent being drained. When I cut it off, I felt like I had taken a 100-pound backpack off my back. I could breathe again. Some men will read this and think he's exaggerating. These men will continue to bleed. Some men will read this and think it's different for me. These men will discover it's not. Some men will read this and feel the weight of recognition, the punch to the gut of truth, the pain of admitting they are trapped. These men have a chance, because recognizing is the first step. Admitting you were manipulated is not weakness, it's awareness. Accepting you made bad choices is not failure, it's learning. Deciding to change is not giving up, it's evolving. You are trapped and don't even realize it. The chains are invisible, but real. Social expectations, family pressure, fear of loneliness, shame of failure, sunk investment, irrational hope. These are psychological chains, stronger than any bars. She knows exactly what she's doing. It's not an accident, it's not a coincidence. It's not just her way, it's strategy. Learned, refined, executed. She saw her mother do it to her father. Her friends do it to their boyfriends. Society validates and reinforces it. It's an unwritten manual, passed down from generation to generation. The system wants you broken. A broken man consumes to compensate, buys a car to impress, spends on trips to post photos, pays for an expensive gym to have an Instagram body, works himself to death to maintain the standard. It's a perfectly oiled machine of exploitation. But there are two types of men reading this now. Those who will continue in the same cycle, justifying, rationalizing, hoping it will magically change. She's going through a tough phase. When we get married, it will get better. When we have kids, she'll calm down. She just needs more attention. I just need to try harder. These will die slowly. They will become those 50-year-old men you see at the mall, carrying bags, eyes empty, waiting for her to come out of the 10th store. Those who drink alone at the bar after work because it's worse at home. Those who die of a heart attack at 55 and everyone says, it was for the best, he suffered so much. And those who will make a decision, today, now, to never again accept less than they deserve, to never again invest in rotten stocks, to never again negotiate the non-negotiable. These will live. They will discover that loneliness is better than bad company, that peace is better than toxic passion, that freedom is better than a gilded cage. They will rebuild. They will flourish again. They will laugh again, genuinely. Not that nervous laugh of someone walking on eggshells. Charles could be you, 5 years from now, divorced, broken, 2 years of therapy to recover. Or you can be the Charles who woke up, who chose, who left, who, even losing half of everything, got his life back. Today, Charles is 38, dates casually, travels when he wants, laughs with friends, sleeps in peace. I didn't know life could be light, he told me recently. I thought weight was normal. Peter could be you, anxious, destroyed, identity lost. Or you can be the Peter who recognized the tests, who saw the manipulation, who cut his losses, who rebuilt himself. Peter today competes in triathlons. The physical pain of training is nothing compared to the emotional pain I lived. And unlike that, this pain has purpose. It makes me stronger, not weaker. Richard went through 2 massacres to learn. You don't have to go through any. The lesson is already here, the map is already drawn, the weapons have already been exposed. The game has been revealed. The difference between men who suffer and men who live, Richard told me in our last conversation, is that some accept the script they were given and others write their own. I lost 15 years following other people's script. I won't lose another day. You have a brutal choice to make now. Continue pretending you didn't see. Continue hoping it gets better. Continue investing in what destroys you. Continue dying. Wake up tomorrow and do the same thing. Go to work to pay her bills. Come home to hear complaints. Sleep next to someone who doesn't desire you. Repeat until death or divorce do you part. And deep down you hope it's death, because at least then you don't have to pay alimony. Or wake up definitely, irreversibly, painfully. Face the truth that you are in a parasitic relationship. Accept that the love you feel is emotional Stockholm syndrome. Recognize that every extra day is a lost day. And act, not next week, not when it gets better, not after the holidays. Today, I'm not telling you to hate women. I'm telling you to love yourself first. I'm not telling you to give up on all relationships. I'm telling you to give up on the ones that kill you. I'm not telling you that you don't deserve love. I'm telling you that you deserve reciprocity. Smart men don't play rigged games, they recognize the rules. Understand, they are unfair and refuse to participate. Strong men don't accept crumbs. They know their worth and demand equivalence. Men of value don't beg for affection. They offer it and expect the same in return. When they don't receive it, they cut their losses and move on. You've spent years, perhaps decades, believing the lie, investing in the illusion, bleeding in silence. The conditioning is deep, the programming is strong, the resistance to accepting the truth is brutal. The hardest part wasn't leaving, Edward, 45, told me 3 years after his divorce. The hardest part was admitting to myself that I was being abused. Men aren't abused, right? Men are strong, men endure, men provide. That mindset almost killed me. Literally, I was 265 pounds, blood pressure through the roof, drinking every day to cope with coming home. Today I'm 185 pounds, I run 10K, I don't drink anymore. The difference? Peace. Simply peace. But deep down, way deep down, you know every word here is true. You recognize every pattern, you've lived every manipulation, you've felt every blow. That time she disappeared for the weekend and when you asked where she was, you became the controller. That time you discovered suspicious messages and she convinced you that you were imagining things. That time you were sick and she complained you were being dramatic. That time you cried and she used it against you months later in an argument. And now you know the name of what's attacking you. Systematic manipulation. Now you know the weapons, value inversion, self-esteem destruction, social isolation, emotional dependence. Now you understand the game. Maximum extraction with minimum investment. The question is not whether what I said is true, you know it is. Every cell in your body recognizes the truth. Every memory confirms the patterns. Every emotional scar is proof of the abuse. The question is whether you have the courage to act, whether you have the strength to choose yourself, whether you have the intelligence to cut your losses. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is acting despite fear. And you will be afraid. Afraid of loneliness, afraid of judgment, afraid of starting over, afraid of having wasted so much time, afraid of not finding someone else, afraid of making the wrong choice. But you know what your greatest fear should be? Reaching 60, looking back and realizing you lived someone else's life, that you sacrificed your dreams, your health, your joy, your essence to feed someone who never valued you. That is a fear that should paralyze you and motivate you. Many men will prefer the known prison, the familiar suffering, the slow and predictable death. It's easier, it's more comfortable, it's cowardly, but it's understandable. The comfort zone is comfortable even when it's toxic. The known is safe, even when it's killing you. Routine is predictable, even when it's miserable. Change is hard work. Change hurts. Change is scary. But some, few, those who still have fire, those who still have strength, those who still believe they deserve more, these will choose differently. These will act today, now. These will discover that on the other side of fear there is freedom, that on the other side of pain there is healing, that on the other side of the end there is a new beginning, that life can be light, that sleeping can be peaceful, that waking up can be with hope, not dread. These will live. The rest will continue dying, comfortably, predictably, silently, until one day, perhaps 5 years from now, perhaps 10, perhaps when it's too late, they will remember this moment, this text, this choice they didn't make, and they will wonder what it would have been like if they had had the courage. But you don't have to be one of them. You can be the exception. You can be the one who woke up, the one who chose, the one who acted, the one who broke free. The choice is yours. It always has been, and it always will be.